This horse that I'm riding here is Brody. He's the one that was very spoiled. I'll put a little clip here from the first time that I've worked him. I've had him a few weeks. He's still a little bit spoiled. Still not real great on work. However, we are getting better. I have tracked cows on him, and he does really good tracking cows. I need to be doing more of that. But the other part of that is I need him to let me position him on the cow better than what he's letting me position him. Tracking cows has rules. One rule is I control speed and direction. He's allowed to pin his ears, make facial expressions to make the cow move, but I control speed and direction, and he's not allowed to bite the cow. That's 3 rules of tracking cows, working cows. 3 basic rules to get started. So, what I'm doing in between tracking cows is asking him to let me move his body around so that I can position him better on the cow. See, when I ask him to do something, he wants to say no. This goes back to the spoil thing. He wants to track the cows, but he wants to do it his way. When he just turned his head like he was going to bite at my foot, when he came in, the owner's primary complaint was that he was turning around and biting her foot when she was riding. I'm working on that. It hadn't totally gone away, but it's a lot better than it was. If he turns his head, he's going to run into my toe. I'm not going to kick him in the mouth, but he will run into my toe. And then turning his head to bite my foot is not going to be pleasant. I'm going to make the right thing easy, the wrong thing hard. Right now, I need some more forward. He's wanting to throw a temper tantrum. What I'm going to do here is pull his head around, ask him to go forward, go forward, go forward. He's wanting to bite something because he don't want to do what's being asked of him. Go forward, go forward. When I have the cow in front of him pulling him forward, this is a lot better. It goes a lot better. But he needs to accept the work that's being asked of him when there's not a cow in front of him. Let's turn this way. Go forward. Go forward. Go forward. Go forward. Don't bite my toe. Bite my toe, you're going to run into it. It's not going to be pleasant. That's not acceptable. Turn his head, bump on him with my spurs. That's not acceptable. He's wanting to complain. I can't let him do behaviors that are unacceptable. So what I'm going to do is turn his head to the side. He can't rear as good with his head turned to the side, and I'm going to send him forward. All that complaining was just because I was asking to send him forward. Go forward. Go forward. Next video I do of him, I'm going to have him on a cow for the video. His forward is much better on a cow, but he wants to just charge at it. It's like the opposite of what I have here. He has to get better, has to go forward. He has spent a lot of time tied on the line. Go forward. Because of him being spoiled and not wanting to do what's asked of him. All I want him to do is go forward. We can't accomplish. Right there, he brought his head up. He was thinking about popping up in the front end again. Send him forward. Let's talk a little bit about reading a horse. I did a video a while back where the horse's facial expression didn't match the rest of the horse's body and didn't match what the horse was doing. This horse is a pretty honest horse. He tells me what he's going to do before he does it. I'm looking at his ears, his face, but I'm feeling his body. Right now, he's stepping forward okay. I really want this horse more walking forward. He didn't have enough forward. Now that he's walking forward, I'm going to get soft because this is what I want. Nice, relaxed forward with no complaint. His ears came back listening to me. I want at least one ear listening to me all the time. See how they both went forward? That right ear came back. I'm okay with him being aware of what's around him. I want the horse to be aware of what's around him. I want him alert. That's going to help us score better in our ranch riding classes. And most horses that are bred to work cows, that alertness is bred into them. Most of these cow horses that I have in training don't miss a thing. This horse, being that he was spoiled, he didn't want to walk forward. Basically just didn't want to do what was asked of him. He got a little bit too attentive over there. I just turned the other way. Turned the other way, his ears came back to me. So I'm going to talk to you about what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, and how that relates to reading the horse. We have a relaxed walk going forward. It's slow, but there's tempo to it. When the horse is walking forward with tempo and the body is relaxed, it's going to be a better walk. When it's a better walk, you have a relaxed horse and you have a happy horse. You have a horse that you can ask to do something. If you'll notice, his footfall slows down right there. It slowed down when he changed directions. He was taking charge of direction. That one, probably two, slow steps that he took was him thinking, can I turn that way? I felt his step getting shorter. I felt his head turn and look that way before he actually stepped to the right. He was thinking about turning right before he turned right. Now let's walk forward again. Horse rattled a bucket out there, and so I got his attention. Let's turn the other way. Get a nice relaxed forward. See him toss his head. When he tossed his head, his shoulders got stiff. We lost our forward. Forward. Right there, I tapped him with spurs to go forward, and his body got stiff. Walk forward. Now we have a relaxed walk. I'm going to relax. Ears are going forward. He's thinking about what's going on in the barn. I got somebody in there rinsing the horse. That's what he was looking at. Now the ground got his attention. He slowed down his walk. All these things that takes away from his attention is going to affect his gait. It's going to affect his movement. He has been ridden some. He was broke to ride when I got him. So I know he has had some riding before I came. And then I put a fair amount of riding on him. So this horse should know how to walk forward relaxed. But this is the horse that wants to bite all the time, wants to complain. It's like some kids I've been around that bite when they have a temper tantrum. That's basically what this horse is. Spoiled and is a biter. What I want to accomplish with him, with just this walking around, is when his gait slows, I want to be able to ask him walk forward without him complaining. Let's change directions here. I just have a plain smooth mouth snaffle bit on him. It's nothing real drastic, just so I can pull him upon his nose. That snaffle bit has enough bite to it that I can get his nose. If he throws a really bad, now he's slowed down, we're going to go forward. Enough bite that if he goes to throw a bad temper tantrum, I can get his attention. Looking at that horse in the barn, we're going to go forward. One of the things that I considered when I put my covered arena right here attached to my barn is that I knew stuff going on out there was going to distract them. Somebody's riding in my main arena out there, my outdoor arena, something's going on, going to distract them. There's somebody chipping wood back over here, that's going to distract them. I want all those distractions. I want noise, I want activity. I don't want a perfect environment for me to train these horses in. I want to train them in an environment that's real life and that they're going to be adjusted to doing other things. Right there, he slowed down. He looked in there, he slowed down. I tapped with my spurs. I am using spur more than calf because with his attention someplace else, it's just not on me. And just calf is just not getting his attention. When he starts walking off better and continuing to walk, speeding back up when he slows down better off my spur, then I'll start working on calf. At this point, I have to have that spur for two reasons. One, I want to make sure I can make him go faster or walk on or do whatever I'm asking him to do. 2, I want to bring out that temper so I can scold him for it and fix it. If I tap him with my spurs like you saw me do a minute ago and he turned around and wanted to bite my foot, I need to fix that. If I take my spurs off and never ride him with spurs, what's going to happen? He's going to start turning around and biting my foot when I tap him with my calf. If I never fix him turning around and biting my foot off the spur, right there, he turned, we're going to kick. Kick forward, kick forward, kick forward. You want to bite my foot? We're going to go forward. We're going to go forward. Now I'm going to make his action unpleasant. Now we'll get soft and ask him to walk again. This kind of thing, I could work this horse really hard, get him really sweaty, and basically get him too tired to turn around and complain about my foot or complain about anything. But I'm not really going to fix any of that doing it that way. When he's not tired, it's all going to be there. I want him to behave good when he's not warmed up a whole bunch, when he's not been loped a whole bunch, when he's fresh, because that's when I'm going to fix all those issues. I've been doing a lot of slow work on this horse because that's how those issues are going to get fixed. Trotting him out fast, loping him out fast is not going to fix those issues. It'll make them look like they're better because he's just too tired to complain, but it's not really going to fix them. He looked in the barn there, stopped us forward. I pointed his nose, tapped up my spurs, we walked on again. That's fine. That is progress. And go forward. Now, while he's walking here, I make sure that I am walking with him. I'm moving with him. We're moving together like dancing. Staying in step. If I just sit here and don't move with him, then my body's actually telling him to stop. I don't want him to stop. I want my body to tell him to keep going. If I am an active rider and my body is telling him to keep going, then when I get ready to ask him to stop, the stop's going to be there. It'll be a non-issue. That's one of the major problems that I see when people can't get their horse to stop, is they never were riding to begin with. If you're never riding with your horse to begin with, never moving with your horse, and you quit riding and ask your horse to stop, he's not going to know that you were ever riding to begin with. He's not going to see a signal there. He's not going to see a cue there. So in order for him to know that you're not riding and you're asking for the stop, you have to be riding. Sounds so simple and almost sounds stupid, but when a rider gets up in the saddle, there's so many things to think about. Just don't think about that. He turned his head like he's going to bite my right toe. I'm going to make that action unpleasant. Turn him back the other way. Ask him to go on forward. I'm not really asking a whole lot here at steered. I'm going to give him his face. I'll point him a little bit. You've kind of seen that the whole time. I'll point his nose and then I'll get soft. I do want him to be okay with me pulling his nose, pulling his face, but I'm not going to pull his face at times when it doesn't mean anything. Right here, I have a soft rein, a loose rein. We want to walk forward. He turned to the left a little bit. I'm going to turn him to the right. I want him to walk whatever direction I tell him to walk in until I tell him to walk a different direction. Right here, we're walking. My body's moving with him. I have my calves up against him, and they're just up against him, not really asking for much of anything. Let's change directions right here. And let's ride. Now right there, he slowed down when I changed directions. I'm going to give him a little tap. Then relax and be a soft rider again. Go forward, go forward, go forward. I like right then, I tapped him pretty hard with my spurs. He didn't turn around to bite him. Now he's distracted with the chipper over there. Point his nose over here. Get his mind back on what we're doing. Just refocus. And let's ride over this way. Much better. Now I need to be building in some steering with my legs. Now that I have him less complaining about my legs, I can use them to start steering. Let's start by turning him into the wall. Turn his head with my right hand. Now I'm going to push with my left leg at the girth. Push him on through. I gave him a leg cue to turn right. He mostly turned off of my rein. Then I looked out there, he got stiff. We're going to ask him to go forward. We're going to turn to the fence again. He mostly turned off of my rein. Same thing there, I pushed with my right leg. But the leg cue was there. Now he pushed my knee into the wall. I'm going to turn him into the wall where there's really not much room. He's not going to make room for my knee, but he will make room for himself. There we go. A horse will learn really quick that if they drag your knee on the wall, you'll slow down. Nobody wants their knee drug on the wall. But a horse will learn that, and he'll start dragging your knee on the wall, and it's hard to overcome. But if you just turn him into the wall like you just saw me do, and I do that a lot anyways in my training, they're going to want to stay a little further off of the wall to give themselves room. Much better about letting me steer him around, not complaining about me pointing his face, not complaining about me pushing with my legs. Let's get a turn to the right here. Point his nose right, push with my left spur, right behind the girth. There. That was nice. He stepped around nice. He was fairly soft on his front end. I'm going to do it again. And watch the amount of slack that I have in my right rein. Not pulling hard. Most of that turn was off of my leg. So this is Brody. I haven't done many videos of him. When I ride him, I get little pieces of progress. There's not a lot of progress to see. So I had to kind of space him out so that you could see some progress. I'll put a link up here to the video from the first time that I worked him. Until next time, thank you for watching.